Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Shane Flynn Outdoors. As you can tell, I'm in a little bit different environment. I'm actually in Panama City, Florida, where I just got done fishing in a bass tournament with my best friend, Gary Damaris.
Hey.
From Gary's Fish Tales. He's got a new YouTube channel coming up, which I'll link in the description when we get done. But we'll talk a little bit about the tournament today and how we did, and just kind of give you a play-by-play of how things went down during the tournament. But first, I'm going to give Gary just a second to give a quick intro.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Gary, and I have a little channel called Gary's Fish Tales. It does salt and freshwater, camping, and a lot of how-to videos. So please feel free to check it out.
Like I said, I'll have that in the description. You can click on that link and please do. I have been fishing with Gary for close to 25, almost 30 years. Yeah.
So, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long while. So we've actually fished tournaments in the past. We've done good in tournaments in the past. And Gary's won some tournaments in California. We've placed in Minnesota. Now you're fishing here in Florida. So we've got a past experience of fishing together, quite a long extent of history.
Yes. Yes.
So it was interesting. Gary said, "Hey, I got a tournament coming up in December. I was planning on coming down to visiting here in Florida from up in Virginia, so it worked out real good." So we started off when I got here on Friday. We went to a local bait and tackle shop right down the road from your house here, and we got a little bit of intel. And the intel was going to be a lot of fish caught, 20-pound limits,
21-pound stringers.
Yeah. So I was thinking, woo, that's going to be fast and furious fishing. Yeah. You got to get out there and cast, right? So we came back to the house. We kind of put some game plan together. Gary was going to start out with a chatterbait. I was going to start out with a spinnerbait because I like my spinnerbaits. We both tied on a worm. You had a couple other lures that you wanted to use.
Yep. So I had a Wacky Cinco on, and then a new lure that I've been dying to try. It's made by Solex. It's like a hybrid frog with a crankbait blend. And it was really interesting, and I thought it would do real good in the super shallow water around all the cypress trees. And
just never got a chance.
I got so sidetracked and hung up on the chatterbait, worm, and Cinco, because those are my comfy baits, that I never threw the new bait that was right in front of me all day. And it could have helped out a little bit because the winning weights was caught on a frog.
Yeah, so you never know until you get done, right? So we all have a tendency, I think, when we get out there fishing, is we get on our game plan, and until stuff goes bad, our plans usually only survive first contact for a few minutes. Now we'll say our plan started out real well.
Started out hot.
Yeah, it started out hot.
Yeah.
So we came up to, after the launch, we came up to our first area, and within the first 5-6 minutes, Gary caught his first fish. And check out this clip.
Fish on. Shane, net. There you go. All right, that's a nice one. All right, and welcome to Gary's Fish Tales. This is a good start to the day. We'll weigh these guys later once we hopefully get a limit.
So as you can see, Gary started off with the bass, a real nice bass. I think that was, what was the weight on that?
It was 392, and it was my personal big bass here in Florida.
Yeah, so when he caught that bass on a chatterbait, I was like, we're on. I was actually hung up in a tree when he hooked that bass.
Yep.
I jerked the limb. I didn't throw in the tree, I jerked it into the tree, but we got it in the boat, that's all that mattered. And we got that one in the live well. I fished with the spinnerbait for a little bit longer, and then I switched over to a chatter tube, which you've seen the video that I put on how to build my secret hack to a chatterbait, which is a tube with a grub, a curly tail grub stuck inside of it. Worked out real good. And just a few minutes later, I landed my first bass on that chatter tube, and here's a clip of that.
bass. There we go. All right. There we go. Here, just put us in spotlight.
You said you can't catch one every once in a while.
Took a while, but we got him. Skunks off. I'll let you talk to the camera.
Yeah. I'd say it's about a 2-pound chunk right there. 2-pound chunk. Caught him on chatterbait. Special chatterbait. Chatterbait tube. Well, after we landed that bass, you can see it was close to 3 pounds. It was 2 pounds 2.89, so it was a decent bass.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, and so we kind of got a little bit excited, like we're gonna land a lot more fish. But we fished in that area a little bit more, and you can see there's cypress trees everywhere. There's so many targets to throw at. It's unreal. A lot of those targets you see, you can't get there because of overhanging limbs and things like that. I mean, you can skip a Cinco, which Gary did a lot of that during the tournament. But you can see a lot of places to fish, but it's hard to cast into some of those. It's really, really tight.
Right. So to add on that, we're fishing out of a bay boat with a T-top. Okay. So I live on the bay. I got one boat, and it's a dual-purpose boat. So I bass fish out of it in tournaments and just for pleasure. And then, of course, I live right on the bay, so I'm in the bay fishing for salt water. I can't get in there with that boat as deep as the bass boats with no top. So it limits our availability to do some certain things, but you have to adapt and overcome, and I'm just making do with what's in the boat at the time, you know?
Yeah. There's plenty so the boat you can see from in the video, we both were able to fish off the deck.
Right.
And so we took turns, running the trolling motor. I think only a couple times all day did we switch and go to the back. I mean, both of us were on the deck the whole time. But yeah, that T-top limited us, and one of the things that limited us doing is going under a bridge into the area called the Dead Lakes, which is a lake here on that river chain.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and I think most of the fish we were going to got caught in the area that we were in anyway.
Yes.
So, but we fished that area real well, and then we decided to run up to the Florida River. So this started on the Apalachicola River. And then we went downstream to the Dead Lakes. Then we made a run up to the Florida River, which is off the Apalachicola River.
Yep.
Went up there, and I'll just show you this clip.
Bass. I can't get you. I can put us in spotlight.
It's a good one.
Bring them, or are you leaving that?
It's need the net. This is like a 6 or 7 pounder.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, no mudfish.
Mudfish.
Okay, so hang on. I got pliers. Well, let's get them in the net.
Okay, I got it. You get your boat. I'll get this. I don't think I want to catch another one of these. He's probably about, what, 4 or 5 pounds?
Yeah.
Bowfin, mudfish. I thought it was a big bass. Sometimes it happens. So, as you can see, I didn't have a 6 or 7 pound bass. I had the good old mudfish, as they call it here. It's actually a bowfin. It's a natural species here in Florida. It does look somewhat similar to like a snakehead that we see in Virginia, but those aren't native. Bowfin are native to Florida. They're as mean as a snakehead, but boy, they bite everything. And I think we probably caught a dozen.
Worms, Cincos, spinnerbaits,
Chatterbaits.
and chatterbaits. Didn't matter. If it was close to a bush and that fish saw it, it came out and got it.
Yeah.
And it was getting old after a while, because when you only have 2 and 3 fish in the boat and you get a nice hit like that, thinking, hey, that's the fish we need right now, and then it rolls to its side and you see the big silver, and yeah, not good.
Yeah, it did get to the point where it's disappointing.
It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I will tell you what I was saying every time we'd set the hook. I hope it's a bass.
Yeah.
I hope it's a bass. So, I mean, if it was a bowfin or a mudfish, which is what they refer to down here, if it was a mudfish tournament, we won. Right. But yeah, it wasn't a mudfish tournament. It was a bass
telltale
tournament.
sign, though, was the way it bit. It was like a a definite. It wasn't a hard thump. It was I don't know how to describe, like a peck, you know. But it's just the way it inhaled it, and it was like after you caught a few, you kind of caught onto it, especially with a worm.
Yeah.
You know, with a spinnerbait or something moving. Yeah, it was just you know, just like any other fish hitting a moving bait. But for the slower baits, as soon as it went peck,
You set the hook.
you got to set the hook. But as soon as you set the hook, you were like, I know it's a mudfish, you know.
No. I never said I know it's a mudfish.
I did.
You might have. I didn't, because I haven't caught a lot of them.
Yeah.
But you know, it did get disappointing. But you know, we prevailed. Okay, we kept fishing and we found some bass. And just a few minutes later, after we got the mudfish, we moved down to a different area, and I caught my second keeper bass. And here's a clip of that. Bass. Or another bowfin. What's that? It's a fatty too.
All right. There you go. On the worm.
On the yellow jelly worm. Look
All
how
right.
fat and footballish that bass is. That I catch a lot of fat bass in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
That takes the cake right there.
That little butterball.
That is a butterball. That is probably close to a 2-pound bass on a 1-pound frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Another one in the boat.
All right.
So that was another nice keeper that we put in the boat. And as we went down the creek a little bit more, actually we went into a bayou there on the Florida River. And initially we kind of went past it and we thought, well, we'll stay on the bank. And then we came back down, we went into that little bayou, and we actually ended up picking up, you caught another bass. Here's a clip of that.
Yep.
Bass. Yeah.
But he's a keeper.
Yep.
2 in a boat. Oh, and he just fell off the hook on the way down. Stop.
Here too.
Huh?
Oh my. Look, I just missed a big one. And that was a bass.
So.
Okay, and we actually, Gary caught one more short right there, and I caught another giant bowfin, and you don't want to see that. But we kind of got, fished that area out pretty well, and we decided it's getting close to the end of the tournament. We only had a couple of hours left, and we wanted to run back down to the Dead Lakes.
Yep.
So we jumped in, ran. That's what, a 10-minute boat ride?
Yeah, it's 6-8 miles.
6 or 8 miles.
Yeah.
So we ran back down to the Dead Lakes, and as soon as we got there, this happened.
But 5 fish in 8 hours, I think at that point it's like need to slow. There you go. Got him? Yep. All right, see? In the net.
Nope.
All right. Slow down. And see, we just nailed the shit out of that place.
I caught him right there.
Yeah, I know, but I've already casted there 4 times. Okay, so Shane got another one. Good for him.
Oh man, he went getting off. He's about a pound and a half. Right, getting there.
We're in the spot lock. There's one fish there. I'm telling you, there's probably 10 fish there.
Okay. Kitech Easy Flapper. What I caught this guy on. Kitech Easy Flapper. Only got 2 with me. And I just ruined that. So that was my 3rd keeper of the day. We ended up staying there for the rest of the day until we got ready to run back up for the weigh-in. I think I got 1 more short bass, but after that we didn't get anything else. It was it slowed down, and we had to call it a day because we ran out of time. All right, so we headed back up for the weigh-in. There's 2 good things I learned from the weigh-in when we got there. A, we caught fish, right?
Yes. Yeah. Didn't get skunked.
And we didn't get skunked. My first time fishing a tournament down there. It's only your third or fourth tournament, right?
Yeah, it's well, with this group, it's my second tournament.
So, limited exposure in some of the lakes, so we did the best we could.
And river fishing.
And river fishing is a different animal. Hey, up in Virginia, the Potomac is hard to fish.
Yes.
That Apalachicola River is running 5 times faster than the Potomac. As soon as your bait hits the ground, it's gone. As soon as it hits the water, it is moving. So it's really, really hard to fish and adjust to. So it's a challenge. So you had to find the right places, which we found a few places that we could fish a little bit.
Yep.
That fitted our style.
Yeah, basically the lakes and anywhere off the river.
Yeah. You get into slack water areas or back into bayous to do the fishing. So, but we got back. We did the weigh in. You ended up with 5 pounds.
5 pounds, 2 ounces.
5 pounds, 2 ounces.
Or no, 5 less than that. 5.02.
Okay.
So I'm going to be honest. Less than 5 pounds, 2 ounces. 5.02.
Yep. And I ended up with 7 pounds and 0.03. So my 3 bass came in at 7 pounds. Your big bass, that was still a pretty good size.
It was 392.
Yeah, 392. Decent. That's a respectable bass, and like you said, it was your personal best here in Florida.
I think it was a third biggest bass of the day.
It was. But the winning weight was over 13 pounds.
Yep, that was, I had it written down here, it was 1358.
Yeah, 1358 was the winning weight. Local fisherman, actually probably been fishing here for a long, long, long time.
Yep, it's a good friend of mine, Joseph, excellent fisherman, and he does win quite a few tournaments here in our clubs. So he was one of my picks to actually win it, unless it was myself, of course, but that didn't happen, so.
Yeah. So anyways, winning weight over 13 pounds. There were a couple of guys that they said it was tough. It was tough fishing. It was a lot tougher than they thought. Mm-hmm. And they've been fishing. One guy's been fishing here forever.
Oh yeah. Most of them have been. They're all locals. They fish here forever. They know
all the sweet spots.
Yeah, the sweet spots. And
so here's in the morning, one of the indicators to me of either we're going to do good or we're going to just sink real quick was we all took off. All the bass boats take off. And all but 2 went north. We went south, and we went south with the guy who won the tournament.
Yes.
So we were in a good spot.
Yes.
But now all the other folks caught fish too. But I think we kind of went the right way. We just didn't find the fish. We weren't able to get into some of the spots probably where the fish were. But I think it was I think our plan was solid. But I think with looking back, and maybe you agree or disagree, we didn't change up our tactics hardly at all.
No, I got steadfast and focused on chatterbait and Cincos and worms.
So I caught 1 bass on a chatterbait, one of my keepers on a chatterbait. I caught 1 on a worm, and I caught 2 others on a Keitech crazy flapper, which you've seen in the video. Mm-hmm. I really like those Keitech crazy flappers. I've only brought 2 with me. In my little tackle box I brought down.
1 is still tied to my rod, and I'm going to be trying that out when he leaves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did try some different things, but you kind of get locked into. I already caught a bass on this tactic. It's hard to put that rod down. We're human, right? We know it works. Keep on going. But maybe or maybe not. That's why Monday morning quarterbacking is pretty easy to do, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but we had a pretty good tournament, I thought.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Good tournament? No. Fun? Yes.
Yeah, definitely had a good time.
Fun? Yes. Anytime fishing with Shane's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we get to fishing together. It's a blast.
Yeah, we're like 2 old hens in a boat, just chatting away. And I apologize right now for the video. Of me over talking and not shutting up while he's trying to show you the bass that he caught. So that's my bad.
Yeah. Well, the good news is we can edit all that out.
Yes, I know. I hope you can edit it out. If not, you're only going to see maybe a video of him catching 1 bass.
Now, what's interesting is you guys seen in the video when I caught that big bowfin, the first one I caught, because I didn't know what a bowfin was.
Right.
Gary was hung up, and I hooked that bass, and I said, "Bass." And Gary, no, I didn't say get the net.
Okay.
I said I got a bass, and you said, "Well, I can't help you right now. I'm trying to get my
yeah."
And then you said, "Do you need the net?" And I said, "Yeah, it's a 6 or 7 pound bass, Gary." and you turned around with the net, and as soon as you went to net, you go, that's a bowfin.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
handed me the net, as you've seen.
Yeah.
You take care of this.
Yeah, it's not a bass. You take care of it. I'm getting my rod, you know. And
So it was interesting,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah.
So, and I thank you for inviting me down here to fish in the tournament. It was a blast. And thanks for being on the Fish Chatter episode with
well,
us.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, and hopefully when Gary gets his channel up, it'll be up by the time this is out. Please go over to Gary's Fish Tales and check out some of his content. It's going to be a good channel. So hey, for everyone out there, thanks for watching this edition of Fish Chat. A little bit different, but I try to mix it up for everybody. And until next time, tight lines and good luck fishing.